What's good, everybody? It's your boy Wilder42K, and we are back with another banger video for today. And something that I've kind of noticed is that the NFL divisions and a lot of sports divisions, to be honest, are kind of messed up. And this is just a quick little video of me realigning the NFL divisions. I hope you guys enjoy this video because it really is something fun, and I think it's interesting how different people do this, and I kind of want to give my take on it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. All right, so how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna base, obviously you have AFC, NFC, but I'm gonna use the NFC East and the AFC East. Like, I'm gonna use that strictly. So you have the AFC North, which is going to be a majority of northern teams. I'm gonna use the AFC as mostly eastern teams with a couple West Coast teams, and the NFC is West Coast with a couple East Coast teams. Not going to try and do anything crazy with it, but I think it's going to be a little bit interesting. First things first, off rip, we have the Texans. So the Texans currently are in the AFC South, and I kind of like that fit. I think it works for them, but I'm going to change that to the NFC South. I like the NFC South better. Steelers are currently in the AFC North. I'm going to keep them in the AFC North. I think just it makes most sense, storied franchise, whatever. But I think it fits. They're a northern team. Even though they are on the East Coast, they belong in the North on that end. Ravens are also in the AFC North. I'm going to keep them there as well. Again, just makes sense. These are pretty easy up front. The Patriots are currently in the AFC East. I'm going to change that to the AFC North. So we have three powerhouse teams, at least storied-wise, like in their franchise history, three powerhouses in one division. So that almost finishes that division up right off the rip. Another AFC North or AFC East team, I really want to put them in the North as well. I really like these guys here, but I might change this. I'm actually going to take the Bills and the Patriots out. I'm going to take them both out. The Bengals, however, I want in the East. I think the Bengals make sense in the AFC East. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Ravens. Yeah, I like the Ravens to the East. They're farther east than the Bengals. So I'm going to keep the Bengals there. And then let's see here. So we got the Dolphins, who are currently in the AFC East as well. I don't like them in the East. I'm going to move them to the AFC South. They're in the southern portion of the Eastern Hemisphere. Not hemisphere, but you guys, the East Coast. I don't know why I said hemisphere. Yikes. But I think that makes the most sense for them. AFC South. I'm going to move the Colts into the AFC North as well. They're not in the South. Indianapolis is not in the South at all, so I'm going to go ahead and keep them in the AFC North. I don't know why they're in the AFC South. It doesn't make any sense to me. You got the Giants. I'm going to move the Giants into the NFC East. It makes sense. I mean, they're there. I think that fits them. I don't see where else they would fit on this map. Again, doesn't make any sense to me to put them anywhere else. And then, of course, so we got Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas kind of has to be in the West, but I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of like glancing at a lot of these teams. NFC North to me, I feel like it almost has to stay the same as what it is. I honestly want to put so let's see. I'm trying to think of all the West Coast teams here. So we got all East here for the AFC, which makes sense because of the Browns, I think the Browns stay there. That's Bears, excuse me. The Browns stay there. So the only team that changes is the Colts. I think all these teams are really close together. Yeah, so this would put these three teams, really close. You got Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indy in one division. This makes the most sense to me. Yeah, okay, you could say Baltimore is really close to Pittsburgh as well, but I like them in the East. They're on the East Coast. I like it. So the AFC North is set. You got the Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and Colts. Again, really close teams. I like that. We are going to now look at, again, the Cowboys. We are going to move the Cowboys staying in the NFC, or moving to the NFC South, but staying in the NFC. Doesn't make sense that they're in the NFC East. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. However, the Eagles do make sense in the NFC East. So kind of how I'm working this with the North here is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to move the Seahawks to the NFC North. They're literally one of the northernmost teams. So I think that makes sense. I'm going to keep the Vikings in the NFC North. Let's see here. I think we keep the Lions in the NFC North. That keeps it right along the top border, essentially. I want to move... So San Francisco in the NFC West. The Cardinals, I don't think, belong in the West. I think we take the Rams in the West. I think we move the Saints into the NFC South, which I believe is the same division. And then I like the Falcons in the NFC South as well, keeping them in the same division. That to me makes the most sense. NFC East, so again, this is like East Coast to me. I think the Panthers, well, this would separate them a lot. That would separate them a lot. Maybe AFC East, that keeps it on the East Coast. Kansas City, this is tough. AFC West makes sense. I almost like the Jets staying in the East. Green Bay stays in the North, so the only team that I think changes there is Seahawks. You got Las Vegas, Tennessee stays in the South. I think the Bucks move to the AFC South. Again, just they change to the AFC, stay in the Southern Division. I think Arizona. Let's see here. Let me think. I might move Seattle to the West. So the West is essentially staying the same, except for the Chargers are moving over instead of being the AFC West. So the Broncos would go to the AFC. The Cardinals stay in the AFC. This is a cluster, whereas when they were down here, it wasn't. These are all together, and then they have one distant team. Las Vegas makes sense in the AFC West. So the only two teams that change there are the Cardinals and the Chargers. That puts both LA teams in the same division, which I think is cool because then they can play at home against each other twice. I think that's funny. I think that works. So this is where it gets tough. So the East is almost packed. The North doesn't. I guess the North has to stay the same. Chicago's right there, right? Yeah, so that would make sense if they all stay like right here. If I move Chicago to the... Yeah, so the NFC North is like perfect. The NFC North is perfect. I think the Jags stay in the AFC South so that you have all Florida teams. So this is now going to be called the Florida Division. Florida Man Division. We'll put a space here. Florida Man Division plus Tennessee. Makes sense. The Bills, I think, stay in the AFC East, which would put the Patriots in the NFC East. I think that clusters them up pretty good. That keeps 2 New York teams in one. Yeah, I like that. I think this is it right here. So the AFC East stays fine. These guys are kind of clustered. They're a little bit separate, but like these three, and then you got Carolina at a distance. I think this is perfect. I mean, these teams are within a couple hundred miles of each other, if that. Not even. Florida Man Division, you got the 3 Florida teams. So I think the AFC North is a good name. AFC East is a good name. Florida Man Division, AFC West makes sense. Let's see. NFC West or NFC East stays the same. They add the Patriots. So, I like this. I think this is perfect. NFC North is the only one that remains the same. All of the rest pretty much change. And then down here, I like this because you got the Seahawks that are a good distance away. All of these guys are clustered pretty close. This is all clustered. This is all clustered. This is all clustered. This is good, minus Tennessee, but I don't really have a spot for Tennessee. I'm just going to change this back to AFC South. I feel like I'm disrespecting Tennessee a little bit there. But I think this is perfect, guys. Look at this restructure here. I mean, these two divisions are a little difficult because there's a lot of separation here with the Carolina and the Seahawks, but that's just because there's nothing really in between them. The only thing I could do is add a fifth team to the AFC South. I guess I could take out the Dolphins. Put the Dolphins have to stay in the East is the problem. They're on the East Coast. So if they're not in the South, they have to be in the NFC South, which doesn't work because of the teams that are there are so close. So, yeah, I think this is perfect, man. You got the Ravens, Panthers, Jets, and Bills in the AFC East. Steelers, Bengals, Colts, and Browns in the AFC North. Dolphins, Titans, Bucks, Jags in the AFC South. AFC West is Kansas City, Denver, Arizona, and Las Vegas. And then the East for the NFC is the Giants, Eagles, Commanders, Patriots. NFC North is the Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears. Stayed the same. The only division that remained the same. And then the NFC South is the Texans, Cowboys, Saints, Falcons. NFC West is the Rams, 49ers, Chargers, Seahawks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, what the NFC and AFC division should look like. Let me know what you think of how good of a job I did. If you think I screwed up, let me know. Anyways, guys, I will see y'all in the next one.